everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen, and if you're clicking on this video, you're probably wondering about study abroad. And I just got back from my study abroad experience last fall. I'm filming this video first of all because my last video actually got like a decent amount of views, considering it's like the second video I've ever posted. The last video I did was the pack with me for study abroad, and I think right now I'm at like 3,000 views, which is insane because like I didn't think anybody was going to see that video besides my friends and family. So that was pretty cool. So I'm glad that through that video I was able to help a few people. But anyway, today I figured I would do a Q&A from some questions that I've been getting from that video. Let's get into this Q&A. Okay, so question number one was, what program did you do? So I did the Roxton College Study Abroad program, and that is through Fairleigh Dickinson University in New Jersey. They're an international university, so they have two campuses in New Jersey, one in Vancouver and then one in England. The one in England is where I studied, that's Roxton College. It's in Roxton, England, 10 minutes from Banbury, 25 to 30 minutes from Oxford, 40 to an hour to Birmingham, then an hour and a half to London. So it was in a pretty, I guess, decent location. We lived in a 17th century abbey. Group of like 50 people get to go, and you just get so close to all these people, and the professors are like family. I miss them so much. But this program is open to any other university, so if you are interested, you could go to FDU's website, fdu.edu, and yeah. Next question is, what did you regret packing? So something that I did regret packing would be like nicer going out clothes and then workout clothes, because I thought that I'd be working out a lot more than I did, but I had classes 4 days a week. I was traveling Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday sometimes, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on the week. Some weeks were only 3 days of classes, some weeks were 4 days of classes. Then we had papers and assignments, and we also wanted to socialize, you know, go out. Some families are visiting, so it was a tough thing to incorporate. I would definitely still bring some workout clothes just because they're nice to travel in, but like you don't need to bring like 5-6 tank tops like I did. Like I didn't even wear half of them, or a bunch of workout leggings, sports bras. I mean, unless you wear sports bras just to lounge around in like I did. So yeah. And then you'd be going out clothes. If there's like a piece of clothing that you got, like I brought a jumpsuit, and I was like, you know, I could wear this when I go abroad. And then I was abroad and then I never wore it, and then I bought clothes that I liked more because there were some fun stores there. So pack light on that stuff if you do plan on buying a few things. Question number 3 was, what were some of your essentials abroad? So something small from home I think is number 1. I brought stuffed animal. I think it's like right back here. My brother got it for me. And then I also brought my own pillowcases. That was like a game changer. I really didn't think it would be, but for the first couple days while you're getting acclimated, you know, it kind of smells like home. It feels like home. And yeah, I brought 2 to, you know, switch out while I was doing laundry, and I thought that was a game changer. Second, be packing cubes. If you saw my last video, you know I love packing cubes. I think I said packing cubes at least 50 times in that video, but again, a game changer. You can't go wrong without packing cubes. Like all my spring clothes in one packing cube. I was able to pack up early because I could just put all my spring clothes and summer clothes that I wasn't wearing in November in a packing cube, in a drawer, all tucked away, ready to go. I had jeans and pants in one drawer, not one drawer, one packing cube. I had tank tops, t-shirts in one. You know, you could organize it any way you want, but it's also great in case, you know, like TSA has to go through your luggage because you're traveling internationally and your bag gets flagged. Who knows? Happened to me on the way there. Another thing would be cold and flu medicine from home. You know, you get sick, And for me, the closest pharmacy was about a 10-minute taxi drive, and we were broke and we didn't want to, you know, pay for a taxi. So, and it also just took time out of the day, because then it's like 10 minutes there, 10 minutes back, 10 minutes to, you know, talk to someone to find the right medicine, because everything's called something different in the UK. So trying to find medicine was just a hassle. You couldn't order it anywhere. So just to have like a stash with you for the first couple weeks, definitely a great idea. Next thing would be pack safe bags. I cannot stress the importance of at least one pack safe bag, or any like one small bag that locks. While we were traveling, out of my friend group of about like 10 people, 2 people got pickpocketed. One in London and one in Paris. And both their phones were gone. They had to scramble to get new phones, and it was just not a good time. So pack safe bags were bomb for me. Like the bags, it's a small little like, do I have it over there? No, I don't. It's a small little like black crossbody. It locks, it's slash proof, there's like steel wiring in it, it's waterproof, there's RFID protection in it. Like, you're good. Someone's gonna, my bag has been tugged on, not to like scare anyone, but like there's assholes out there who will like try tugging on your bag or try ripping out your bag, and mine, I felt safe the entire time. No one was getting in. It was locked up. I had my phone, my wallet. Nobody was getting there. It just made me feel so much safer. And then for weekend trips, I also had a larger bag that was, I think it was like 28 liters, and it opened up like a suitcase, so I was able to put like my packing cubes in, but then I closed it and then I could lock it up, and that was amazing. So I could just know I could put it up on the plane and nobody would try to open it up and take something, or it fit under my seat sometimes. And I always had my essentials on me. I never had to worry about trying to carry a suitcase through the streets of Rome and the cobblestones, like, or in Venice. My God, that would have been a disaster. And 2 more tech things that were essentials for me were multiple phone wires. This may seem like a given, but you'd be surprised about how many people only bring 1 phone wire. Like, I brought 1 wire that I would keep with me in my room in England. Then when I was traveling, I'd bring another one with me, so that in case I lost it while I was traveling, I would come home and still have a wire. I don't know. And the last thing would be an outlet converter. I had got one from Amazon. There's like 4 USBs on it, and then it works for the US, UK, Europe, Australia. I think that's it. There's like 4 different settings on it, and I would just bring that wherever I went because I wasn't traveling outside of Europe, and that was definitely an essential. Next question was, where did you travel? So I traveled to England, Switzerland, Scotland, Belgium, look at my list, Italy, Germany, and France. So I could go back into my Google Calendar actually, and I could go through the weeks, so I could tell you what my life was like last semester, because to go to that many places, I was traveling almost every single weekend. So the first weekend we got there was August 29th, and that was just, you know, getting acclimated. That was on a Thursday. On the Saturday we went to Oxford, and then we just had introductory orientation things. Next weekend, September 6th to the 8th, we went to London. The next weekend, September 13th, Stratford-upon-Avon was a day trip. The 14th we went to Brighton. That was a day trip. I loved Brighton. And then the 15th we went to Kenilworth Castle. That next weekend, so 4 days later, I had papers due at this time and tutorials. But then I went to Switzerland on a last minute trip from the 20th to the 22nd. And the 26th to the 28th I was in Edinburgh. October 4th to the 6th I went to Belgium. I went to Brussels and Bruges. That was also another unexpected trip. That was one of my favorite places. The next weekend I stayed locally, and I had a communications class, and we had a trip to the BBC in Birmingham, which was very interesting. And then that next weekend was travel break. So that was 10 days of travel, just basically like a fall break where you get off of your classes. So I went to Venice for a few days, Positano, love Positano. Anyway, Positano, Rome, Munich. We went to Dachau. We went to the Neuschwanstein Castle. We went to like the Bavaria area. Amazing. Amazing. And then we had a week break. Well, I just decided not to travel that week. I know a lot of people did. I needed a break. So then the next week, so 2 weeks after we went to Munich, we went to Paris. And that was a 4-day trip that the school organized. The school organized the trips to Edinburgh and Paris, and then the local ones like Brighton and Kenilworth. So we went to Paris for 4 days, and then I think that was the last time we really traveled out of the UK. We went to Birmingham to go to the Christmas market, and then we wanted to go to Oxford again, but it didn't happen because of the weather. But yeah, that's everywhere I traveled. I did not get to go to Spain or Ireland or the Netherlands like I had planned, because the flights during the weeks that I was gonna go were just so much more expensive. So we used the app Skyscanner, and Switzerland and Belgium were cheaper during those times. And I'm so happy that we did that, because it was such an unexpected trip. But those are two of my favorite weekends out of the entire semester, hands down. Next question. What was the weather like in England? You know, it rained. It rained a decent amount, but it wouldn't be like a torrential downpour thunderstorm like you get in the Northeast. Like, it was just like a light rain. Sometimes it would come down a little hard, but then it would stop. And there were actually a bunch of sunny days there. I don't remember like being like, oh, I miss the sun, because the sun would come out at least once a day. It wouldn't be like it's extremely cloudy all the time. The temperature wise, it was like 35 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, the sunsets and sunrises were beautiful from my room. I got so lucky with the positioning of my room where I could see that. Next question. How was the transportation from where you were located? So, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I was in Roxton, England, which was pretty centrally located. Definitely more southern, but more centrally located on the UK. So getting to London was so easy. We would use the app Omeo to look at the trains schedule, and then we could just get the tickets there. We did the same thing when we were going to Oxford or Birmingham, or you could just get the tickets at the train station, which was also super easy to do. In London, the Oyster card, phenomenal. You could also just use like the Apple Pay onto any of the turnstiles. That's something New York does not have, and they need to get on that. I know some subway stations have it, but not all of them. But you could just tap your phone down to get onto a bus or onto the tube, because like we were there for a weekend and I was like, I don't want to have to buy another Oyster card. And then I forgot my other one that had some money loaded on it, and then my friend was like, you would just like use your phone. I was like, no way. Like, so easy. It was so convenient. I would literally not worry. If you're gonna be in London or Birmingham or anything like that, don't worry about transportation. It's very easy to figure out. You'll be fine. Next question. Was it expensive traveling on your own? Yes and no. It depends how you travel. Everywhere we went, we would pick and choose what type of accommodation we wanted where we stayed. You know, in Belgium, Brussels was very good with hostels, and we found a very nice, clean, modern hostel. Stayed there. Switzerland, we did an apart hotel, so it was like an apartment room that was a hotel, so there was like 2 people on a couch, 2 people in beds, but that was cheap in Switzerland, so we decided to do that. School trips, we had hotel rooms. Other than that, it was hostels or Airbnbs. We had the best Airbnb in Rome. Positano, we had went through Airbnb, we had a little bed and breakfast. Adorable. The view was insane. Like, you just have to look, and you have to look. Like, we would even do some of that just like a couple weeks in advance. Like, it wouldn't be like we were planning it months and months in advance. Yeah, where it did get expensive though would be food and drinks, because if you're 18, you are legal there. And I never went too crazy with that because I was very aware of my spending, and I didn't go crazy. It was like, yeah, shots on me. Like, I just knew I couldn't do that. So I would just go and get like a drink there, here or there, or we would literally Google like happy hour Munich, and we go to the cheap restaurants that had a bar, and we would just get tapas, or we get appetizers. Like, sometimes you just don't get full meals, or you bring snacks, you bring granola bars. Ooh, bring a reusable water bottle whenever you're traveling. The plastic gets insane, and it's so expensive for water. Like, I guess I'm very grateful in the US where in New Jersey that the tap water that I can drink that and it's fine. But there are some places where you can't drink the tap water. So I know my one friend had a water bottle with a filter on it, but some other places you might just have to get the plastic because that's all they have. Like Venice, unless you want to pay, like I think we paid once, like you could pay for water for the table, because if you specify, oh, can I have tap water? If you say tap water, you won't get charged. But if you just say water, and if they ask you still or sparkling, sometimes we get charged up to like $8 a bottle. But in some cases that's the only option you have. Next question. Did you do trips run by your university? I did. So Roxton was great with planning trips every weekend. Like, they would just do local trips. There were trips into Banbury twice a week, trips into Birmingham, Oxford, Leeds, Liverpool, Wales, so many trips, and so many like local little castles, so many castles. And it was just insane that you could just hop on a train and just see all these different places in different areas. It's just so different from where I was from, because I'm from New Jersey, so it's very metropolitan, and this was in a very rural area. There were fields everywhere. We could go for walks and there would just be sheep hanging out, and I was like, this is insane. Like, there were just, I don't know, I never lived by like a farm area, so I found it very, I guess, eye-opening, you know, to have the respect for nature and all that. Okay, that's my little spiel. I went on a tangent. My university, the two main trips that they ran for us that were included in the tuition and room and board were the trips to Scotland, so Edinburgh, and Paris, France. So we were on buses to get there. It's like an 8 to 12 hour bus each way, but it was totally worth it. Like, we make a lot of memories that way. Did you work abroad? I did not work abroad, but I know that my friend, she goes to Binghamton. Her program, she was actually had an internship in London. So she was in Westminster living in London, and then she also had an internship at the same time for a class. My program didn't do that. I didn't work. Through traveling and taking 15 credits, I just didn't have time to get a job. And you're not allowed to like work and get paid unless you have like a specific type of visa, and I didn't have that, so it actually would have been illegal for me to work. I remember them saying that in orientation. They were like, yeah, if someone offers you to work, don't do it because you could get deported. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna work. Next question, how would you get to London? Kind of mentioned that. The school, sometimes we would do buses and we would drive in, or train. Did you ever take the Eurostar? I did not use the Eurostar, I don't think. I used other railways within the UK, and then I used a different railway. We did a train last minute from Italy to Munich. So I'm not sure what train that was. It was a German train company. It was definitely not Eurostar though. Yeah, we weren't traveling enough by train to get like the rail pass, but if you are physically on the continent, you're not separated like on the UK by the water, that could be something you could look into. And this is the last question, how did you plan weekend trips? I'm a Capricorn. I'm very type A. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of it. I like to organize, I like to plan. So for me, I kind of got in the habit of just like, if we knew we wanted to go somewhere, let's say we were in Oxford on the first weekend and we were like, ooh, kind of thinking about Switzerland. I go on Google Flights and I go on Omeo and I look at flights, and then once we found a flight, we would, you know, secure that. Either if it says like, oh, there's 3 seats left, sometimes we just buy the flight and then we're like, we're gonna find an accommodation no matter what, like we're not sleeping on the street, so we do that. And then we go on Airbnb. Hostel World was a very good app to find hostels in the area, or even just look up like cheap student hotels. We went to Ball or Lucerne, and you could just find stuff that way. Pinterest has tons of things, like three-day weekend trips to Rome, Positano, Paris, Munich, whatever it may be. You can find something on Pinterest. There's tons of bloggers, or even I use the app, man, what was it? Like the Rick Steves travel something. I'll put it up on the screen because I'm not gonna remember it now, but that was an app where you could have like pre-made like trip advisor plans, and it would show you restaurants in the area, clubs, bars, museums, different events happening. Did I say museums? I think I did. All the monuments, all different things. Like, and then from there we could pick and choose. Or sometimes the best days was just if you're there and you're like, we were in Rome, we knew we wanted to get to the Colosseum, so instead of, you know, taking the subway or paying for a taxi, we just did like a 30-minute walk there. And then lastly, my top apps that I would use to plan for weekend trips would be Omeo, Skyscanner, Hopper, Airbnb, Hostel World. Oh, Google Flights was really good. And I think that's it. Let me think, any other tips for weekend trips? It was definitely very daunting in the beginning, but once you do the first trip, like, you'll be fine. And you realize that, like, if everyone does it, I can do it, you know? I really definitely realized, you know, like, I'm a grown-ass adult and, like, I can do it on my own. You know? Maybe not. I don't know. You just gain a lot of confidence traveling. Alright everyone, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this study abroad experience Q&A. If you have any other questions, leave them down below, or any other videos you want me to film. I didn't really think of that. Whatever you want to see, let me know, or if not, that's also cool. Whatever works. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like just so I can get a read on how it was. Please comment down below if you are studying abroad so that I can like live vicariously through you and go through your experience with you, because my experience was something I'll never forget. Memories I'll cherish forever. Like, I'm looking at pictures from it right now and I'm getting like teary-eyed. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!